All right. Wow, look at that. Look at that fancy background. I like that. Glow, Glow Fall Fest. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Hal Henson. Really glad that you're here. My wife and I, Lisa, I'll be introducing in just a minute. We are presidential ambassadors with Liche, which simply means we've shared this story a number of times, helped a number of people not only be introduced, but in many ways change their lives with their health and many people with their finances. And we're going to talk just a little bit about that tonight. So we're going to do a really brief kind of a helicopter view of Liche. We're super excited that you're here. I tell you, I've been involved with Liche for almost 3 years. We're coming up on my 3-year anniversary of a phone call that I received from my younger sister 3 years ago in October. She called me. We live about an hour apart here in Arkansas. And she said, Hal, I have something I want you to try. She knew that I had had just a lot of physical pain in my life from multiple surgeries on my knees to a major back issue the previous winter in the winter of 18. And it had affected my income, it affected my mobility and so forth. And she offered me a small bottle of Liche Ultracell, which is a hemp CBD oil. I did not know what it was. I had some ideas about it. They were mostly wrong. I didn't know what it was, but my opinion was wrong about it. She educated me just a little bit, but I trusted my younger sister and took this product for about a week. And then I went out and played golf with some guys that I had been turning down all summer long, all summer and fall, because it was just too painful to play golf for me. And after a week, I noticed that I was sleeping better. I noticed that my knees didn't hurt. I noticed that I had a significant kind of calm attention that I hadn't had. Some of my life frustrations just felt like they weren't as bad. I mean, it's just the honest story of what happened to me 3 years ago. I asked my sister after that week to explain some things to me about this, and she did the best that she could. But really, the best thing she did was she said, "Hey, come and hear it, my friend Lisa from high school. She's been living in Indiana for 30 years. She's a nurse. That's her background, but this is really impactful for her and her family." For her son, especially her adult son. And she said, come and meet Lisa. She'll give you the overview of the science. And she said the things that I really can't explain that well. And so I went with my sister and my mom to a restaurant in Rogers, Arkansas, not too far from the Walmart headquarters. And I was introduced to someone that I should have known in high school 40 years before, but didn't know her at all. And to my shame, frankly, but I met Lisa Bell that night. And at that time, Lisa was a presidential ambassador with Liche. She had very successfully in a year shared this message and this story and these products. And I shook her hand and learned all about hemp CBD, learned all about Liche, and then immediately fell in love with Lisa. And now, here we are 3 years later, and we've been married for 2 years, and we get to live life and share this with others. So obviously, I'm the big winner in all of this, and you probably got more if you're a guest on this than you ever wanted to hear about me. But that's just the story. It's a beautiful story for us, that sharing a product that can help somebody's health. And by the way, we just got back from ballroom dance. We go to ballroom dance 3 and 4 times a week now. And so for a guy who couldn't even walk his dog in the yard, here I am 3 years later doing ballroom dance with my wife on a regular basis. So that's just one of the awesome outcomes for me. So let me introduce very quickly Liche, the company who brought all this to us, founded by Stephen and Angie Thompson in 2016. And they're just incredible, innovative leaders in the nutritional industry. Stephen had done that for a number of years, been very successful. And when he encountered third world malnutrition in Haiti as an adult, he saw it, and he had small children at home. And what he realized was, if we could ever do something about this, if we ever started our own company in nutritional, I want to do something about it. And so he has, from day one. He and Angie have committed for every dollar that comes into Liche, a day of vitamins, to go into the world. They have huge hearts for veterans. It's a big part of what we do with Liche, is carry this message to veterans. The company Liche means multiplying nutrition. It's a Swahili word, but it also means multiplying the story. It means multiplying. What Liche ultimately means is sharing the impactful nutritional, and then giving us, the people who share the story, an opportunity to earn significant income from that. And Lisa and I and many others have done that, and it's changed our lives, not only our health, but our finances. So I've kind of told you my story and just a little bit of Liche, but the reality is that my whole life, obviously, people have had pain and sleep issues, situational stress, weight management issues, age management. We've always needed to take care of our immune system, but we didn't pay that much attention to it. I didn't pay much attention to any of those things until I was in my 40s and 50s, especially in my 50s, but I didn't know about this endocannabinoid system. I didn't know I had a system in my body that needed nutrition from the hemp plant. I had no idea about that. And so when my sister and Lisa introduced to me that I could address the pain, the restless sleep, the impact of stress on my body and on my brain, weight management has always been an issue for me. I was always one of those big boys, I've just always been a big boy, big boned, as they say. And I've always struggled with that. And so what I've come to understand is that if I can fuel this system in my body that provides balance, homeostasis is a more kind of official term for it, but I call it balance, then that supplies all the other system of my body with the fuel that they need to function together better. And I'm going to have Lisa go into that a little bit more, but all of us know people, even ourselves, our family members, loved ones, coworkers, extended family, people that we spend life with, who have many of these issues. And so that being the case, we genuinely have something to offer for them, have for a number of years. And I'm just going to say one last thing, because Lisa will talk with you about some of the innovation and some of the key points of why Liche works so well. But I love about Liche, and I'm super excited, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, Liche has always been an innovator in the field of nutrition, leading with many nutritionals, making absorbency for our bodies to be able to effectively use the products that we put in, for our bodies to really be able to use them through absorbency and technology that we own called ultracell technology. But Stephen Thompson, the founder, has never been satisfied with being average in any way. And he's always been on the leading edge, the cutting edge. And that was one of the things that I saw, because I have no medical background. I'm a business guy. And when I saw this from Lisa 3 years ago, one of the things I said is, if this company continues to lead in technology and the development of new products with this kind of technology, this kind of blending of technology and nutrition for the better health and outcomes, we've got a long-term winner here for our own health and for other people's. And so I'm sure Lisa, because she can't contain herself, will share a little bit about the future that we're about to launch here in a couple of weeks in Dallas, but for some new products. But we're not going to go into that tonight too much. But I just want to say, as a Liche ambassador, someone who was introduced to this 3 years ago and have enjoyed greater health, many friends and family members' lives changed physically and financially. There's not been a better time to be on a call like this, especially if you're a guest. And if you're one of our ambassadors, I'll guarantee you, if you know anything about what's about to happen, you are so, so excited. So anyway, I've talked enough. I want to turn this over to Lisa. And again, lean in, take notes, listen to the most awesome ambassador in all of Liche, my wife, Lisa Bell Henson. Take it away, baby.
Thank you, Hal Henson. So thank you so much, Hal. And he's very gracious, but it did take me 40 years to get his attention, which is kind of the humorous part of our story. But I am always so grateful when we have an opportunity to share with guests just kind of why we're so excited about Liche, a company that really nobody's ever heard of, and an industry that, is going to explode literally, and Liche is leading the way. My background, as Hal mentioned, I grew up in a medical family. I'm a former ICU nurse. So I have a traditional healthcare background. And one of the things you kind of have to ask yourself is, what is your paradigm on that? And mine was just, influenced by my father, who is, a very high level endocrinologist. And he really believed that a pharmaceutical drug could solve any problem. And that was really kind of the paradigm that I had many, many years, until I had a couple of personal incidents happen. One was my healthy mother developed cancer in her 50s and died from the side effects of chemo. The irony was that I was actually in the pharmaceutical industry marketing those drugs at the time. And so it was a very, very big crisis for me personally. And I ended up walking away from the pharmaceutical industry, and we'll kind of come back to that. The other thing that happened to me is that I have two sons. But my youngest son has always struggled with brain health issues. And because of my pharmaceutical model, I didn't do my due diligence as a parent. And I took that prescription that his pediatrician wrote, and I just blindly just followed his advice. And 5 years later, Nate had been on over 30 different medications. And I was a broken mom, face down, single mom, really trying to make ends meet. And I had no answers. And I'm so grateful that 4 years ago at that time, I got a phone call from a holistic dentist, Dr. Stephen Gant, who I still am so grateful to this day, because he asked me what I knew about CBD. I thought he was offering me the cousin plant, marijuana, totally different industry, different supplement that shows my ignorance. And he invited me to a medical lecture that really, really changed my life. And when you see the issues on your screen right now, pain, sleep, situational stress, things that everybody faces, people we ourselves, we now have a new way of interpreting these problems, these symptoms of really what's called endocannabinoid deficiency. And what I learned in that lecture that really changed my life is that we have an 11th system of the body called the endocannabinoid system. Big word, ECS for short, but you can Google it, go to Wikipedia, look at the definition. It modulates, it regulates very, very important functions in the body, such as appetite and sleep and pain control, just the way your mood and memory are balanced. Hal mentioned the word homeostasis, but literally we are supposed to, when we're healthy, produce compounds in the body called cannabinoids that literally are communicating with every single organ system. It's the largest system of the body, but it has to be fueled. And therefore, when we don't make enough fuel, or number one killer of these cannabinoids is stress, like who hasn't experienced massive stress over the last year and a half, then we destroy our own molecules and it cannot function. It can't do its job. And my son was really one of those who had a deficiency, and the healthcare system treated the symptom with medications upon medications upon medications. And therefore, when I learned about it, and Dr. Gant offered me a solution, he said, Lisa, there's just a whole new aspect of health that we didn't really know about. And what I love about Liche is that we get to educate people. And this is a company that reaches to your world. So if you got a phone call that invited you to hear this presentation overview tonight, then whoever called you really cares about you, like Dr. Gant cared about me. And then we educate you to the fact that no matter what your paradigm is, we believe, and we have very good evidence that you can control many aspects of your health. You can take back your health by fueling this endocannabinoid system. And that's the Liche mission is, number one, it's products with a purpose, that we have targeted health solutions that are proprietary, made by Liche, by nobody else, that are really backed by science, which attracts some top quality health professionals with premium ingredients that truly serve that function of balancing the entire body. Unlike exercise, unlike nutrition, unlike sleep, unlike any other good thing for you, it cannot take the place of fueling the endocannabinoid system. And so you can kind of see our introductory product line. You can literally design your own health. And so for the last 4 years, we have been able to really deliver this message, which has been super exciting. And yet we've all had to really kind of come face to face with our own paradigms as to, what you think this plant is or is not. A lot of people are mistaken. But what I love is our hero product. We became the number one selling hemp CBD within 6 months on the market, is our Ultracell hemp full spectrum. It's the entire plant. Whoever invited you to this call can kind of give you a little bit deeper dive, but if you had to pick one product that could change a life, it's really our full spectrum hemp CBD product called Ultracell. Comes in berry, lemon, or raw for those who really just want a completely raw, no stevia experience. This has been life-changing. We now combine it with a product called CBG, cannabigerol, because they actually attach to different receptors, and we found that they really potentiate each other. So I love, in fact, all the people that I know and love are on CBD, Ultracell, and CBG, and that's truly our gift, is to educate them on the fact that, if you're just looking to balance your body, general health, possibly people who suffer from aches and pains, sleep issues, anybody who suffers with, an excess of inflammation in the body, challenges with the immune system, that literally you can just allow your endocannabinoid system to fuel itself with those two products. We've expanded to a topical. We also have pet products. We have a whole vitamin line, which is awesome because most people don't take vitamin supplements because they're pills and they don't want to have to swallow pills. They're not very well absorbed. Ours are liquid. I'm going to talk about this technology that really creates absorption in the body. And then of late, we also just launched a Liche skincare, radically different skincare system that also has CBD, CBG, and a cannabinoid called CBC. So we love Liche. There's something for everyone in this line, but this is really the competitive advantage that the company offers, is the fact that these plant-based compounds are very, very difficult for the body to absorb because the compounds are oils. And if you've ever tried to mix oil and water, which is what your body's made of, they don't mix. And so people tell us every single day, oh, I tried CBD, it just didn't really work for me. But that's usually because it's absorbed anywhere between 3 and 6%. And therefore, what Stephen Thompson did that was such a slam dunk was investing early on in a technology that changed all of that, that literally helped people to get almost 100% of what they were taking in their hemp oil. So that's really what Ultracell is. It's not only the brand name, but it's also our technology. Therefore, we have a clinical study that backs this up. It's an absorption study that shows up to 94% of the product was absorbed within 1 to 2 hours. We dose primarily under the tongue. We have a liquid product that is actually really good tasting. And what I love about it is not only that it absorbed very quickly, but that it stayed in the body for up to 12 hours. And that is a game changer, because you have to understand, I'm now an old timer in this industry, and we've seen there's a lot of studies out there that show there's either no active ingredient in CBD or there's contaminants. And so you have to choose, it's buyer beware. You have to choose a company that has proof, transparency as we call it, that their product is what they claim it to be, that it is pure, that it doesn't have anything in it that's nasty, like heavy metals or contaminants, and that it has in it what it promises, the cannabinoids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, the vitamins and minerals. Like hemp is actually called God's multivitamin. So it's super nutritious, and it doesn't take a lot of our product to actually go a long way. So at the bottom, you see the U.S. Hemp Authority seal of approval. It's something you should look for always. And we have a QR code on every single label. You can scan it and you can see exactly what's in it and exactly what's not in it. So I love Zalise. We work with many, many health professionals and those who really are seeking the very best. But we all know that physical health is not the only challenge that people face today. And I mentioned that I was not in a good place when I was introduced to Zalise. I had actually invested 13 years in another business looking for freedom of all types, just freedom as a mom to pursue, help my family, but also financial freedom so that I wouldn't have to do what I did as an ICU nurse, punching a clock, working 12-hour night weekends and holidays, and literally come home and see that I just, didn't think I could do this over and over again, that I really was not getting ahead. I never felt like I was getting paid what I was worth. And so when this industry, being the direct selling industry, entered my life, it took me a minute to learn how to actually build distribution. But when you find an industry that is on the brink of explosion, and you find a fit between a product that helps you or your family, I'm going to show you why it's in your best interest to know how you can actually create a return on that. And so literally today's challenges, we all know, just like we know people suffering with health issues, we know people who are struggling with finances, retirement, Some cannot provide their own healthcare. I could not provide my own healthcare. That was one of my first goals when I understood that Liche was truly a platform. It wasn't just a product. And time freedom, which, now 18 months after the beginning of the pandemic, so many of us have had that taste of working from home and are looking for ways to create freedom and obviously purpose. So that's really, to me, what I love sharing is the fact that Liche is a very powerful platform. Not only does it really represent a structural change in health as we know it with the advent of the endocannabinoid understanding, the ability to fuel the body, but my gosh, it is the most powerful financial platform that I have ever been introduced to. And I'm so grateful to my mentor and Dr. Gant for introducing this to me, because it truly has created time and financial freedom. And as a nurse, my DNA is about helping people, and it has allowed me to share, to get paid to share, not disease and not disease mitigation, but actually to share health and to work from anywhere that you have a signal. Literally, here's my phone. As long as I have my phone with me, I can work. And I'm building a different type of income. And I'm able to really fulfill dreams that I had long ago put on the shelf. And the concept that I learned was that of leverage, that literally I would rather have 1% of 100 men's efforts than 100% of my own. And I'm the daughter of a doctor, solo practitioner who never understood the value of leverage. And that is really what this industry provides. So Liche combines 5 different industries, and we have the potential to tap into the potential volume of each of those, which, hemp CBD, I'm going to show you some stats. Health and wellness used to be driven by the baby boomers, which I'm on the trailing edge, but now post-pandemic, everybody is trying to stay healthy and stay out of the hospital, which is what we help people do. The direct selling channel represents freedom for so many people with a product that has to be demonstrated and educated upon. E-commerce is really what we do, because for 18 months, most of us have been operating just like this on Zoom with an e-commerce site, and literally we have no face-to-face interaction. And then again, skincare, which is an enormous industry that we are just now bridging as well with our Liche product. But there's kind of 2 concepts that I want to introduce to you as part of the business of Liche. One of them is called disintermediation, kind of a fancy word. The other is transfer buying. But disintermediation, think about that. That is really the removal of the middleman in any industry, and which represents, let's say it's just Super Bowl advertising or advertising in general, or paying middlemen distributors to get product from the manufacturer to the market. And so really what Liche does is they eliminate the middlemen, and they take all those dollars for advertising and distribution and put it in a compensation plan. And those people who want to transfer buy from going to CVS or Walgreens or buying online or wherever, the vape shop, wherever they buy their CBD, their skincare, their vitamins, all the things that Liche produces, they can actually then buy from themselves, buy wholesale, get a tax advantage, get free products, and learn how to create additional income. All of that income set aside for this very purpose. So Liche is a very, very unique company. We teach everyone how to build their future. Not everybody really wants to share this, but when you've been impacted by a product experience like ours, for me, it was my son who in 3 days called me on the phone and said, "Oh my gosh, this is really helping me." And it was just night and day for us. He could focus and concentrate in a whole new way, felt like he had a 5th gear. And so I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to share this with everyone I know that could possibly be helped." So I contacted anyone I know who had challenges with brain health. And really, in order to start earning income, you just need 2 people, because we create 2 teams. And so the way that Liche works is we create distribution, and somebody can actually use that kind of wholesale to retail model of traditional, selling a product, buying a wholesale, selling at retail. I didn't have a store, but I found people who did. Or they can create distribution through a team. And that's really what happened to us. We started sharing it with people who either needed a product outcome or were looking for an explosive industry that they wanted to diversify their income. And we just started sharing it. And there's really 7 different ways that you can actually tap in to our compensation plan: daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly income to create, again, long-term residual income, which is through the creation of an asset. And that asset is represented by a product user. So depending on the size of your team, it could be just 2 product users, you can start earning up to $250 a week, up to $30,000 a week as you build distribution. And that's really what we teach people to do. And it's a beautiful thing. It, to me, was like the 8th wonder of the world, is that I had a great coach and she taught me how to share it with 2, who shared it with 2, who shared it with 2, who shared it with 2. And if you do the math, you see that amazing things happen. And we were so blessed. Even this, it was 2017 when I jumped in. I was scared to death because I knew nothing about this industry, but I just had a good coach. And that was an amazing. And she said, you know, girl, Liche not only has a good compensation plan, they have a sexy compensation plan. She described these benefits and I thought she was lying to me, but we tap into all but one of them. And literally, when you start and you build a team of 4, you can tap into what's called a blessing bonus, which is Liche's paying it forward in our comp plan. And it's literally up to $500 a month that the company gives you to give to somebody who needs it. It could be a cause, a charity, an individual, a group, but it is a really, really powerful thing to be able to participate in the blessing bonus. And when you teach 4 people to find 4, which we call a 4x4, you can earn your own Jeep. And we were able to do that in our first month with coaching. It was awesome, up to $1,200 a month, literally, that Liche says, go pick out your Jeep. And for me, that was the first step to financial freedom, to eliminate a car payment, to drive a cool Jeep. And now we have 2 Jeeps in our family, and actually more than that, because Hal's extended family is also a big part of our business as well. But I mentioned my first goal was healthcare insurance. And in 4 months, I was able to tap into that regional benefit up to $1,500 a month that company gives you to pick your own healthcare plan. And then we're just about ready to embark on Presidential Day this month. So we get free luxury vacations. And our goal is learning how to dream again, is that dream bonus at the diamond level, up to $3,000 a month that Stephen Thompson gives us to dream again, something you wouldn't normally buy yourself. But this is really another unique feature of Liche as a product user, that everyone has an opportunity to get free stuff, free products, swag, and we have a Star Club loyalty program and star points that we can show you how to maximize. And literally you can earn up to 25% of every dollar that you spend on product. And in addition to that, you get free products every month and every quarter. So if your endocannabinoid company or your nutrition company or your skincare company is not giving you free stuff, then you need to talk to whoever invited you. But in conclusion, the future is really, really bright. I have not mentioned at all what we're doing at the end of this month, but CBD as a general rule is ground floor worldwide. Most people don't even really know what it is. Global sales in 2019 were 8 billion, and they're projected pre-pandemic to reach $1 trillion. We believe that's probably half as much. We think it's going to be more like 2 trillion. So it's a wealth transfer literally from people who are waking up to the fact, like we did, that the pharmaceutical industry is really only treating symptoms. And we want to fix the cause. And we do that through natural supplementation with the philosophy that if you give your body what it needs, it can heal itself of many, many things. And so we are going to have a major shift at the end of this month that makes timing and positioning utmost important right now. So the next slide might be the most important thing you hear on this call, but you can check the numbers. This hemp industry is absolutely enormous. When I stepped from nutrition into hemp, it was like stepping into a moving current. But here's kind of where we are just as a company. These are the company revenues. It's called the curve of prosperity, because we know that 90% of success in this industry is timing and positioning. And Liche is a 5-6-year-old company that literally has spent their time formulating our product line, concentrating specific markets. And you can see here that the US is ahead of Europe and Latin America. But literally, we're going to have another big shift at the end of the month that is going to blow everyone away. And that just is going to prove to you that Liche is on the leading edge, not only of the hemp industry, but of health and wellness in general. And so what I would recommend to you is to take a very serious look at positioning and getting in at a point that sounds comfortable for you. And I'm going to show you some of the options that I'm just going to show you that you can actually choose to join with a business position, or you can actually join as a wholesale customer. You choose. There's no right answer on that. I'm going to tell you that based on what's going to happen, you're just going to want to get in. And we always say, you choose, get in where you fit in. I jumped in at gold, which is the most aggressive business kit that we have. It's also the one that you can make the most money because it gives you the most products, 20 products at the deepest discount, so that you can turn around, move those into the market and capture a retail profit. It's an $11.99 kit, $1,700 in value. So that means you can earn retail profit. And it also means that you don't leave any money on the table. It accesses all the bonuses that are potential in the Liche compensation plan. On the other end of the spectrum is bronze for $299. It's still a business kit with 5 products. We just have a very good friend that's enrolling in this tonight. It just makes sense for her to start that way. And it's a little bit less commission. It's about half as much, 10% binary commission, but you can upgrade anytime. Or you can just go right in the middle and go with silver, which is great because it's 10 products that you can choose, $900 in value. So it's still great retail profit. It's 15% on the binary commission, and you are, again, positioned. For those who want wholesale, it's kind of like a Sam's wholesale, a 1-year ability to just shop at a discount and earn all those star reward points. So we always just say, get in where you fit in, but just get in, because something amazing is going to happen. September 25th, we have something called Fall Fest, which is, it's been a long time since we've been able to get together live with our company, but we are going to be launching something new and exciting and innovative that's going to help a lot of people. I'm so excited. I almost have not been able to sleep since we've kind of leaked a little bit of information. And so stay tuned to Liche. I want to just thank you guys for listening tonight. Hopefully you took some notes. Look up the ECS. That's kind of your homework assignment, and look at your own paradigm and see kind of what you believe about giving your body what it needs to heal itself. We've started a lot of people on CBD and CBG, and I never ever tire of hearing those stories of people who've had life-changing experiences within their first month. And sometimes they think we were weird before, but they always come back and thank us. So you might be surprised that even if you're a skeptic, get back with whoever invited you and say, okay, prove it to me, and tell me what you know about what's happening at the end of the month. But you, I think, will be very, very excited to see what Liche has in store. So we would love to be the first to welcome you to Liche. We hope that you will join us. Come to Dallas on the 25th and see what's new. And I promise that you will be very, very excited. So many thanks to my husband and partner, Hal, for starting us off. And thanks to you who took your time tonight to get educated on Liche, the health revolution that we're really ushering in, and also the financial platform that has changed our lives. Thank you guys so much for being here.